Hi, I'm Gail from GG Evergreen Bonsai. We're quickly approaching the new year, and if you saw any of my videos prior to Christmas, I had a very sore throat and it's still healing now. I had COVID because I did a test the day afterwards. I'm all right now, and I even had time to go down to London to visit my family, COVID free. And I had a fantastic time down there. And I did a little video of Kew Gardens and I visited the bonsai trees there, which was really nice. I had a lovely Christmas, however. I wasn't looking forward to Christmas. It was my first Christmas without my husband, but my family have done an excellent job to distract me and entertain me over the Christmas period. And now I feel ready to do some filming for bonsais. So as it's still the Christmas period, I'm going to help myself to some chocolate, my favourite types. These should be illegal, they're so nice. I also treat myself to some bonsai books. So I'm going to have a read of these and then I'll do a bit of a review of them. So I've been to local garden centres the last couple of days and bought some trees and shrubs. These are two of them. These are both Taxus, which are yews. So I won't be repotting today. I'm just going to shape the trees. To repot them at this time of year can be detrimental to the plant. The roots can rot or they can freeze. So we're just going to leave those for now, and then I'll repot them in the spring. So I was thinking this one would be a very nice little shohin tree. So I'm going to have a little play around with that one, and this one I'm going to cut it shorter and do a little bit of shaping. I'm not going to go too mad with removing too many of the branches. I just want to give it a general tidy today. I'm going to start with removing some of the top layer of the soil. Now, like I said, we're not going to remove the roots, so I'm going to be very gentle. I'm literally just going to put this soil back in the pot just to raise the tree. And when you're doing this, you can actually see if there's any sort of nice features that will help to determine where you think the front is going to be. It's important that you do look at the front now, because that determines where you put your branches, because you tend to remove a lot of the branches at the front so you can see the tree, and then you have more at the back and the sides. So you've got some roots there spread out like fingers. This gives character to the tree, but also strength and stability. And as you look, you can see we've got some beautiful roots on this side, but when I turn it that side, not so much. So probably this side is going to be the front. Right, so before I put this one outside, I will be putting a little bit of akadama soil around there to protect the roots as well. You've got to think about frost and things like that, so it can damage the roots. So you can use scissors. You can just pinch out some of these as well. And because this is going to be the front, I'm going to remove some of the foliage at the front. So all of these will become little branches. So I need to be mindful of that. So I'm going to put the wire into the soil as an anchor, and then I'm going to wind it up 45 degrees. Now I've got quite thick wire here because this trunk is actually quite thick and quite strong. So what I'm trying to avoid here is to damage any of the branches. and I will remove more of the foliage. I just want to give it a bend first, see how it bends. So we're giving it a bend. Now you've got to be very careful this time of year because the tree will have slightly less sap. So it could snap. This branch is going straight up, and the thing is when you have branches that go straight up, no matter how you try and bend them, they don't always look right. So you can try, but I'm going to make the decision to remove mine. I'm just going to put some cut paste on some of the branches that I've cut. It will just protect the tree. So to protect the roots, I've put some Akadama clay soil and some grit. So I'm going to shorten the length of that, looks a little bit too long. And putting the branches down will make the tree look more mature. And a little bit of movement to that as well. Not sure about this branch. So in the spring when repotting, I'll have a look again and see if I'm going to make any changes. So again, I will start removing some of the soil from the top, but looking at this, it's got an awful lot of roots at the top, so I'm going to have to be very, very careful. But again, I'm looking at the placement of the roots to see what would be a suitable front, and also the branches. So when I've removed that, I can see there's quite a lot of Nebari, which is exposed roots. Now, I won't make a decision if I'm going to keep those roots, possibly with the twisted, or remove them, but I'm not going to remove them now. So I'm going to have a look at the trunk instead to see which side I want the front to be. Now it's got a lot of shape coming up here, you see, it's got a little bit of a bend there. So I've got to decide if I'm going to have it this way, with the roots behind, or this way, with the roots in front. So as it is still early winter, I'm not going to give it a drastic prune. Just going to do a couple of the branches. I'm going to bend it into an S shape, and then I'm going to start to create the dome shape at the top of the apex there. That will make it look a lot more mature. So I'm going to do that today. Okay, so naturally I can see this is already starting to bend like this, so I'm going to try and work with how it is naturally. Very gentle, not to snap the tree. So we've got a bit of movement there. Like I said before, if we've got some branches on the outside of the curve, that would look nice. So when the better weather comes, I will be removing a lot more branches. I'm just going to have a little go at removing some of the ones where there's too many, so we can actually see some of the gaps. So when I put this into a different pot, I will not be removing any of the roots yet until next year. So like I said before, I'm not going to remove the major branches. A couple of reasons for that. Obviously it's the wrong time of year to do that. Also, I might decide to make some gin, which is dead wood, of some of the branches, so I don't want to remove them yet. So I'll now bend them and put them downward. They'll have a little bit of movement there, and also with the branches being downward, that also makes them look a lot more mature. And then I'm going to do a crown, like a dome shape, for the apex there as well. So when you're wiring the branches, you always do 2 at a time. I'm using just snips for this wire. This is 2mm wire, which is commonly used. So I'm going to wire this back branch here and this side branch here. So I'm going to wrap it round the trunk first, 45-degree angle, just so that we get a nice anchor there. And then we'll wrap it round the branch at 45-degree angle. Now these are the primary branches, which are the first ones, and then you've got the secondary branches that come off the primary branches, and then you've got the tertiary branches that come off of the secondary branches. So I'm just wiring primary branches first, and again you can put them down over and then bend them so they have a little bit of movement as well. So we're looking at the gaps, making sure we've got enough, making sure that we have nice beautiful gaps between the trees. Now this branch here I would probably remove. It's at the front, as they call it, an eye poker, but because it's quite a big branch I don't want to remove it quite yet. I might make it into gin, so I'm just trying to just move that out of the way a little bit. So this is the initial starting for this yew tree, and in a couple of months I will be removing some more branches and making some more decisions. Now I found that incredibly relaxing, really good for my mental well-being. If you liked it too, please press like and subscribe to support me on my bonsai journey. Thank you.